3 teams eligible, and that's a pretty low amount of teams relative to past championship finals that we've seen. Typically at this point, we'll see 4, maybe 5 teams match point eligible. Right now, it's only 3, and again, that's because of the even point distribution across the board. Something tells me in North America tomorrow we'll see something completely different, as it's kind of interesting how things have flipped. NA used to be pretty well distributed, EU used to be very top heavy, and that's kind of flipped. NA is so top heavy right now versus EU. There's so many teams across Europe and EMEA that can perform at any given moment.
Wow, I'm taking a look at the map right now, and it looks like the solo queue goats are very close to Les Cités de France on Skyhook. So it looks like Larabinu might be in trouble soon if Zippeth and Shiv decide to look his way, but they normally typically don't end up fighting off drop. They like to loot up. They like to get their trials loot before moving on. And that's why you see those two when they rotate. You see them collide so often because they're rotating from the same position. Now moving on to Fire Beavers. Now take a look at the map. Countdown and Lava Fisher.
Yeah, Countdown, Lava Fisher finish. Trainyard slightly in there as well. So this is a fairly good zone for Fire Beavers. Again, after deciding to change their comps in game number 5, they went back to Loba in game 6 and 7, what's worked well for them. And here's one thing, girl, I'd love to get your take on, as things are a little slow here to start. A lot of teams, you heard from Scars last game, are intentionally playing for the match point win. So they're intentionally not getting kills, not playing their play style, not playing aggressive to try and win the game. A team like Scars, they're known for playing edge. They're known for playing aggressive and fighting for kills. Do you think that's going to cost them? Do you think that that's the wise decision? Because in my eyes, why not continue to play the way you play? Because you never know how late this thing is going to go, and you always want to try and fight for top 3, top 4 finishes. What do you think the best way to play is?
So I think it's a wise decision for these past 2 games, but now that there are 3 teams on match point and potentially further after this game, if the tournament continues, I think it's okay to play the same way you have been, because it's going to be harder for teams to focus you, and if they do end up focusing you, another team could potentially win. So later on, most teams are just going to go for the win instead of targeting other teams and throwing their game. That's what I personally think anyways.
Yep. That's a great point. It's kind of dynamic. It's not a static, black and white answer. Depending on what game it is, how many teams are match points, how you should kind of play that out. And I think that's a great point. If there's 2 teams alive with match point, or 2 teams in the lobby with match point, you want to stay a little more stealth. Once there's 5, 6 teams, it's not like every single team can be griefed at once. You can play a little more loose, that's for sure. But you wonder, in those 2 games where you're playing a little more stealthy, are you sacrificing kill points? Are you putting yourself in a scary spot? Because Fire Beaver, Scars, they were well ahead against the rest of the lobby, and teams are slowly but surely starting to narrow that gap.
So one thing to consider is that they are playing some games without getting any kill points like they normally do. And if these teams end up catching up, they could potentially take their position in the leaderboard. So if one team decides to win on match point, they could lose their 2nd place seed and go to 3rd, 4th, maybe even 6th place, depending on how many teams advance ahead of them.
And by the way, that's the difference between $50, then $30, then $15,000 from 2nd to 3rd to 4th to 5th. So every single placement counts, which is why every single kill counts, which is why I want to kind of bring that up and talk about different strategies, different viable ways to play here. As we just saw Navi get knocked by New Esports, and now News Crypto is just scouting the area, seeing, hey, is this something we want to push? Meanwhile, the bread and butter strat that's been coming through for Fire Beavers, leverage Loba for quick loot with Black Market over in Fragment West, and then leverage Valkyrie for a quick rotation to get one of the best positions, and they're going to do exactly that. Great positioning here for the Fire Beavers. Meanwhile, Aqualix finds himself in the fight against Navi.
Kuya is currently down. They're in a 3v3 or 3v2 situation. Yuki almost went down for free there. Luckily surviving with 1 HP. They get Crypto EMP. They're losing their armors. Navi's gonna have to heal up here and recover. Kuya is currently down. It's going to be hard to retrieve that banner.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to. And that's also the Aqualix special, is finding the best position and the best place to rotate and then just bullying their way in. One thing to keep in mind, it's not just coincidence. You don't just kind of blindly rotate and say, hey, where am I going to end up today? These teams have strats. They have power positions that they typically like to hold, and the top teams know which power positions other top teams like to hold. So for Nasky and the Aqualix squad, they love holding that basement here over towards Lava Fissure, and they just bullied their way in. Getting that kill on Navi, they're going to be very, very content, especially with Caustic. That's one of the best positions for them to hold here in this late game.
Yeah, and that's going to be a hard position to push because you're in such a secluded area in the map here. As Taskmaster gets some flash shots on a team nearby, Shiv FPS goes down to Jazaz there, and that doesn't look so good for solo queue goats.
points, right? Solo Q Ghost tends to have been kind of hit or miss in this lobby. They've had some ridiculously good games, performing very, very well, and they have had some games where they've been a little bit more quiet. But overall, I've been impressed. They've gotten a 2nd place finish, 8th, 6th, 10th place finish, but then more recently 15th and 2nd place finish. Of course, last game, 12th place finish. Last game they got 12th with 9 kills though, so that was a good pop off for them. They need 10 points right now at 40 points to qualify here, but it's looking a little slow for them.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they did lose Chiv there. Navi not looking so good. Max Drake, last one alive with the flatline, doing some massive damage, but Yuki with that Mastiff just finishing him off.
There it is. Again, that's the Equalix special, bullying their way into the best position that they think is in the lobby. And of course, with Caustic, you could take those close range fights, especially given it was a 3v2 right there. Not much that Max Strafey and the Navi squad can do. So Navi coming into this game in 6th place with 43 out of this lobby. They're the first team eliminated, and Equalix will be the bearers of the fruit.
Yeah, and they only need 5 points, so they've been able to secure their 3 points. They're in a very good position. If a team wanted to grief them now, it would be the time, but I doubt it. I doubt anyone's going to focus a team that's not on match point right now.
Yep. Meanwhile, we're jumping on board with Scars. Again, similar kind of meta for them. Any team that runs Valkyrie either runs that one of 2 ways, takes their time to loot, and then uses Valkyrie ult to rotate, or loots quickly and uses that Valkyrie ult to rotate extra quick to get one of the better positions. Scars is the former here, as they're going to be rotating through after looting the majority of Overlook on the northeast side of the map. They'll be posting up at this choke and at this kind of position here on train tracks. We'll just be chilling for now as they just settle in to their late game. Meanwhile, Underrated, another team that's been quite hit or miss, started so strong with a 1st place finish and 17 kills. Since then, girl, they've had 2 20th place finishes, so have really, really slowed down, and that's been kind of a continued story we've talked about. Kind of hit or miss, high risk, high reward is their team comp with Revenant.
Absolutely, and they are the only Revenant team playing in the EMEA region, so when someone sees that Revenant, they're likely to push them and kill them. But they're rotating now. They're on the edge of zone. Let's listen in. Let's take a listen in and see what they're going to do next.
There might be a team waiting, so we should wait around the corner. Don't show us more. Don't expose too early.
I'm waiting you. You're flying.
Yeah, I am. I need to syringe wait. Or shall I wait? Shall I not
Here
syringe?
when we get out.
Oh, okay, go.
I don't see nothing.
I hear people shooting on the right. Like,
I hear up here.
Yep.
I'll keep on going and check it out.
They're on the right.
There's a team on the head, team on the rock, the
they're over
charge.
here, fuck.
Right.
We can go back around if you want.
Yeah.
Back and pad.
Yeah, pad.
Stop shooting us in there, please. That's fair. They know it's us now, so yeah.
It's fine. We have time.
We're chilling.
I
Someone
think
up here.
Yeah, I
The
heard
Wraith.
people on Dorito.
Okay.
Wait, what do you say? It's Team
Dorito, he's on
Yeah.
Dorito, yes, he's on Dorito.
This split, because the Wraith playing the rock above.
You can play forever right here and push. Here you go.
Padding forward.
He's running. Just work on him. Work the other.
So,
The blue
He's there?
backpack there.
He's there.
You know what my favorite thing about Underrated listens are? It's always hearing Horizon calling to push someone. This guy is one of the most aggressive players in ALGS, always trying to take fights. The controller player in Horizon. Been so impressed by him, his rise on this Underrated squad since the late summer circuit last summer, actually towards July, August time frame is when Horizon really leapt on to the scene and started performing so incredibly well. Since then, this Underrated team has kind of been a staple, but continues to kind of be slept on as an underrated squad that either performs so well or, you know, typically is in the kind of the lower parts of the top 20. Again, kind of hit or miss as a squad overall.
Yeah, one of the most underrated squads. Yeah, nobody really considers them as a top 5 team, but they have performed incredibly well. Sometimes they get those 17 kill game wins. They've been around for a while. They've been playing together. They're a strong team. Obviously, they made it to the EMEA championships. And one thing to note about Horizon is he brings a lot of great vibes when you're playing with him. He's always so hyper. He's so fun to play with. I've had the pleasure of playing with actually everyone on the squad before, so I can speak. They're all phenomenal players.
Love it. One of our 3 teams on match point right now, but keep in mind they are using Revenant. So it'll kind of have them stick out like a sore thumb. Teams will see them, will automatically know. That's one of our 3 teams on match point. Can you just imagine, though, the pressure, the feelings of saying, hey, if we win this game, we can win $260,000. You can imagine the thought process, the nerves that go into that. You just can't even think about that. You just got to treat it like another game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. You just have to treat it as a single game. You're competitive already. It's in your blood to compete. Just try and win this. Whether you have 50 points right now or 70 or 100 points, you just got to win. That's all you have to focus on.
That's right. And as things are staying a little slow here on round number 2, we'll take the time just to explain to anyone watching, maybe the first time watching competitive Apex. Really, a lot of our teams can be defined as one of 2 playstyles, either fighters or survivalists is kind of a generic way to put it. The more, I think, on-brand term to put it is either you play for fast rotation or you play for a slow rotation, you play edge. Or placement versus kills, a couple different ways or flavors in which you can call it. Some teams like to rotate very, very fast, find one of the most favorable positions in the zone, and then post up. They'll tend to play Caustics, or back in the day, of course, Watson was the very popular meta. Teams that like to play Edge, well, you'll see them run Octane, you'll see them run Bloodhound, you'll see them run a lot more aggressive team compositions. Those are the kind of 2 various play styles, and again, to kind of bring it to life here, Aqualix is one team that we talk about often as an early rotate type of squad. And then, of course, on the flip side, we saw Scars, we saw Underrated, we've seen Alliance. They like to play Edge, they like to play kills. And then you have some teams like Gambit that can kind of play a hybrid.
Let's go here. Yeah, and Fire Beavers, I would say, is one of those teams that like to rotate early. They're always getting great positions when I see them. Underrated, though, we're taking a look at them, and they're doing the really wide rotation, as you've seen. So they're taking in a lot of storm damage. They are completely trying to avoid any team around them. They do have jump pads, so they will be able to try and escape this team, but it's Gambit. Gambit trying to take away that jump pad from them.
Yep. Leave it to Gambit to be gatekeeping right now. Keeping this underrated squad just hunting. This is one team in Gambit that will not let you survive. Hardeki, of course, leading the way. They're going to push this. They want this kill. They want somebody. They don't even know that it's underrated, I don't think, and they still just want to play aggressive here. They've had a slow past few games. They're probably frustrated by that. But then we know Gambit can turn on the gas pedals really, really easily. They got 17th and 14th place in the last 2 games. It tells me this will be a pop-off game for them.
They definitely know it's underrated because they're the only team playing Revenant right now, so they're very happy about this. They're taking a lot of damage, but they're able to heal up. So Underrated is able to heal up, but they're not able to escape the grips of Gambit here. So Gambit's going to chase them, try and get the kills. Playing Edge and securing these kills on match point teams is incredibly important. They're doing a great job.
That's right, but they will let Underrated survive for now. How many resources have Underrated had to leverage just to get to this point? All of the syringes to get through the zone as they were eating zone damage, and now all the way around getting tagged up by Gambit. They're going to have to use a lot of their shield resources, so it's looking a little slow, a little scary for them. Meanwhile, one of our other 2 top 3 match point teams, Scars, and then of course alongside Fire Beavers, Scars right now find themselves in a pretty favorable spot in zone. This is one of our multinational teams, one of our fan favorite teams. You got RPR, the Croatian. We'll keep a close eye on them. Meanwhile, here comes the push from Hardeki. They want this fight, and they're going to take it here. Great Peacekeeper shot to kick things off. That's 160 damage done by Hardeki to start. Connects for a second. Paradise is going to get actually knocked. ASCII right after the Hardeki and Gambit special. Finding teams, taking those 3v3 spots, and just wiping the entirety of a squad. Nice job right there from Gambit.
Astonishing. Well played by them. Full team wipe. It was so clean. And now moving on to Flavor of the Month that are trying to attempt to do the same thing. And that's Gambit that they're looking at. There's a few squads around here. So now you're going to have to be really careful. If it's not a clean team wipe, you don't want to do it.
That's right. They're going to back out for now. Flavor of the Month in 15th place with 28 points. It's currently well behind their expectations as the winter circuit champions and as a team that started off really strong. Taylor goes to the kidnap though. Is he going to connect? No, it is not. Nasky though, taking out some members of Totem at the top right of your screen. We'll keep a close eye on that kill feed, trying to keep you guys up to speed here in this game. This could be the last game as we have 2 teams on match point. Sorry, 3 teams, all 3 teams still alive, I believe. Flavor of the Month here, pushing up And we're going to jump on board with Underrated. One of those three teams, you're going to be finding themselves in a 3v3 fight. Dazo goes down, so all up to K-Swinney and Horizon. Keep in mind, they're showing up in the kill feed here. K-Swinney knocked. It's going to be Endeavor that shuts down Underrated.
Bryn unfortunately went down, but great thing that they have the portal and they have the caustic to secure the portal. So he's going to pop that trap. Unfortunately, gets that trap popped off, and now going for the syringe heal, the slow heal. Moving on to Flavor of the Month. They got one knock. Can they get another knock here? Gibraltar goes down, and there they go. Full team wipe. Flavor of the Month, trying to get those points that they need to come back into this tournament.
Indeed. As we switch on over to the Fire Beavers, Flavor of the Month looking good. Aqualix looking good. Endeavor looking good. Endeavor, of course, in 5th place with 45 points. They just got 3 kill points. And if they can get one more placement threshold, they will get 2 points in placement. They will qualify. That is Endeavor. We'll see if that's the case, though, if they can clutch it up and stay alive. Meanwhile, Scars and Fire Beavers, our 2 match point teams, still alive with 13 squads remaining. 9imps, though, is going to get knocked by Vifes of Alliance and taken out by RPR ultimately, as we have Fire Beavers down to only 2 players remaining, Taskmaster and Sunset.
Yeah, and Scars has shown themselves on the map, so some teams should be aware of where they are. They see the solo queue goats right behind them in a favorable position. Endeavor not looking too well. Blast taking a lot of damage. May be able to pop this battery off before he gets pushed. Another trap goes through. Evade shots coming through, but not enough. Carry Rubik with the Prowler. Absolute strong, great work.
I didn't see where Noises is of Endeavor, but if he can survive long enough to break in to the 2nd points threshold to get 2 points from placement, no, he'll get taken out. I don't believe they'll get the 2nd point. I'm not sure. We'll, of course, try and verify that if we can. They get 13th, and I can't remember if that's 2 points or 1. They did get 3 kills, so we'll see if that's enough. We'll let the leaderboards speak for themselves after the game, as we see post-kill taking out Balanji of 3rd Impact, who's been the quietest team of this tournament. Really surprising, as they were streaking big time back during the summer and autumn circuit. Alliance still alive with 12 squads remaining. Could this be the game that Alliance needs to break in a match point? They need to get through this team first. Great shot put in by IPM, but he's last alive. Will just skirt his way out as Valkyrie tagged up significantly, and Alliance is going to have another poor game here.
Unfortunate, IPN couldn't do the clutch that he needed to do, but he has able to escape, and there's 11 squads, so maybe some placement points for them. New Esports going to clean this up. No, they actually get traded off here, and no one's looking at Scars right now. That is not good.
Scars is in a great position, center zone right now with great shields, great loot to close this one out. Can they do it is the question. Yapir's going to take out T-Rex in the kill feed here and on screen. Currently with great shields, 2 fully leveled up Evo shields. Yapir's has really swung into full force here in Game 7 when they certainly needed to, with 26 points and 7 squads remaining. You saw RPR get another kill, so everyone in the lobby knows right now that Scars is still alive, but can they stop them is the question, because this Scars team has looked so freaking good all tournament long.
They have such a wide amount of space to play. They're playing so incredibly well. RPR is playing up top. Mandy's playing down low. They have the whole zone to themselves, it seems. But when it comes down to it, they should end up playing together, because once a 3v3 comes in, they're going to be in danger being that split apart.
As our thoughts have certainly been with Denmark's Christian Eriksen after a tragic fall in the UEFA tournament. We now keep an eye on the other Danish individual, aka Mandy of the Scars squad, as he's looking to pick up a win for Denmark here. On board now with Yapirs, Kerry Rubik alongside OJ and PKMK. All 3 still alive in a great position. 5 squads remaining here. This could be the final game in game number 7, with Scars still in the best position overall. High ground to their name. Might have to drop it here as Ultimate's going to come through and tag them up significantly. Yapirs finds himself in a tough fight against solo queue goats. It's going to be Shiv going huge after getting knocked at the beginning of this game. Shiv is back, but PKMK trying to clutch up. He's going to get taken out. Shiv is the last member alive. Drops the smoke to keep himself alive, but for how long is the question. And for every squad that gets taken out here, girl, that opens up the door for Scars to close this game out.
It looks like the game for Scars here. That's 2 big teams eliminated from this. They almost have 0 opponents to fight now. 4 squads left, only 9 people remaining. If they can kill this team, they're looking really good for the big win for the championships.
So well positioned is Scars right now. RPR, Mandy and Taishin, the German, on board with them right now as Mandy's gonna put some great shots through. Sitting on top of high ground and just raining down on everyone in the lobby right now is RPR and Co. But Shiv says something about it. He takes out 0-0. So you're targeting the wrong team right now. You want to focus Scars. Scars is actually going to back out, bubble up, and just reset and heal. They are chilling right now in a great position to close this one out, girl.
Everyone needs to put their firepower onto Scars right now, but Scars notices that they're getting shot from all different angles. Shiv trying to do God's work here by taking down one of Scars, but unfortunately wasn't able to do it, and it looks like one more team eliminated, and Shiv trying to do his absolute best to do some damage here. But oh my goodness, man, he's going to be able to survive with a bat.
Mandy does such a good job surviving right there. If he gets knocked, that might be it for them. 2 squads remain. Scars versus Fire Beavers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final game of the EMEA ALGS Championship between Fire Beavers and Scars. Can Fire Beavers do the unthinkable in a 2v3? Scars has no idea where they are. I don't even know if they know who is alive, but they're going to go for a kidnap here. They're going to find them and use the portal to try and at least get some visibility. Doing a good job playing their angles and playing this slow, recognizing they have the high ground, they have an advantage, and they can close this out here, girl.
Oh my goodness, and RPR comes in the back with the wingman. Perfect shots on Sunset. It's a 3 versus 1. They cannot lose
Brilliant
this,
plays.
and they are going in.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Scars are your champions of the ALGS EMEA Championship. Congratulations to them. What a finish and what a performance from the multinational squad picked up by the Japanese organization in Scars, and what a showing. You can hardly believe what we just saw on screen. Every single game, they performed, they showed up, they rotated so incredibly well, played their team composition to perfection, girl.
Oh my goodness.